yourself in a meeting where you just froze, completely froze, went blank, and did not know what to say, how to say it, and when to say it? Has this happened to you? It happens to the best of us. And I want to let you know that most leaders do not lose their authority by not knowing the answers. They typically know what to say, but they start to lose their cool when they start to lose their sense of security. And so in this video, we're going to talk about how you can stop freezing up when you are in those very high stakes, high pressure situations so that this is not a problem for you anymore. Now, if you're new to me, my name is Dr. Jacinta, and I'm here to help you learn how to communicate more confidently and concisely in those very high pressured, high stakes situations. This is something that is not talked about at length, I would say, in YouTube, in the world, and I want to make sure that you're at a place that you are able to understand what you can do. I'm going to share with you over 20 years, yes, 20 years worth of experience that will help you to start being more cool in those high stakes situations so that you don't freeze up. Now, if you're watching this portion of the video, you are watching the replay, and welcome. If you are new to me, hello, hello. And if you are one of my amazing subscribers, hello, hello also. I appreciate you being here and appreciate your support. There's typically a point in time where the YouTube audience will join the live conversation. Therefore, give me just a few moments to say hello to everyone when that time comes. And I'm going to share with you some strategies to help you stop freezing up when you're in those high stakes meetings. I want to say hello to Pratik Galatkar 1011. Hello, Pratik. Welcome, friend. Good to see you again. Hope you're doing well. How are you doing today, Pratik? Good to see you. There's a lot of things that come up in terms of why people tend to freeze up and lose their cool when they are in those very high stakes meetings. Let me know in the comments below, have you ever experienced this? Has this ever happened to you, as I mentioned at the beginning, where you just froze, your mind went blank, your palms became sweaty, you just didn't know what to say, you've stumbled over your words? Let me know if this has ever happened to you before. Let's talk about it. Pratik Galatkar 1011 says, I am doing well, and smiley face. Fantastic, Pratik. I'm glad you're doing well. There's a couple things I want to share with you really quickly. I'll highlight them first, and then we'll go into a bit of detail on each of these insights to help you not freeze up when you're in these type of situations. The first is to work on your confidence. The second is to make sure you're at a place where you are preparing, and it's not preparation in terms of what you may think as it relates to these high stakes conversations. The third is going to be making sure you're at a place where you are speaking concisely. Fourth is to observe, and the fifth is going to be you need to get some help. So this is overall what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to go into detail on each one, but before I do that, I want to say hello to those of you who are joining the live today. Let me know what part of the big beautiful world you are joining from today. Number one. Number two, have you ever froze up in a high stakes meeting? Have you ever just blanked in your mind, didn't know what to say? Maybe your palms became sweaty, you just didn't know what to do? Let's talk about it today. Now, if you're new to me, welcome. Glad that you're here today. I want to say hello to Not Cotty. Hello, welcome. And Captain Save. Okay, so Captain Save, your comment is so ridiculous that I'm just going to completely hide you from the channel and not even say it out loud. So this is obviously not the place for you to be at today. So now let's talk about high stakes. As I mentioned, there's a couple insights I want to share with you today, and I want to go into some detail on those. If you're new to me, welcome. Glad you're here today. I am here to help you learn how to communicate more confidently and concisely under pressure. If you're a woman in leadership and you are in my direct target audience, you're going to find a lot of value here. You're welcome to reach out to me for some support, and I will help you be able to do that. If you are a man in leadership or someone that is thinking about leadership, but you're not quite sure where you want to go, you will learn a tremendous amount of information here. Now, before I go into high stakes, because this is something that people really struggle with, I do want to let you know I am launching something special. I'm launching a 15-minute high stakes communication diagnostic where you will have the ability to have a virtual call with me, and we're going to talk about specifically what it is that you're struggling with, go over this upcoming high stakes or high pressure situation you're planning to have, and I'm going to give you some strategies that will help you do very well in that conversation. If it's something you're interested in, feel free to leave it in the comments below, just say interested, and I'll send you the information for that. Now, when it comes to not losing your cool and not freezing up in high stakes communications, we're going to start talking about confidence first. Confidence is critically important. Now, most of the time when people are freezing up in high stakes communications, they do not lack the knowledge, but they just are frozen. There's usually a certain aspect of your conversation that you're having that you are trying to say out loud, but there's some insecurity that's there that will cause you to not say what you need to say. And that's where confidence comes into play. If this has ever happened to you and you've been that person that has frozen when you are having conversations with people in those high pressured, high stakes situations, then there's something about your confidence that we need to work on and develop. I do want to let you know I have a 4-part series here on my YouTube channel where we're talking about the fundamentals of confidence. So you definitely want to check that out. I have a lot of videos here on my live tab that talk about confidence, and the 4-part series is on my pre-recorded videos. It's an older video also. So keep that in mind. Confidence is something we got to work on. Pratik Galakar 1011 says, I'm really interested. Absolutely, Pratik. So I will connect with you via, if you can contact me, if you're on Instagram, at Excite Excellence, just send me a message so at least I have your contact information. I know we communicate here on YouTube, but I don't have a way to directly communicate with you. So just let me know, okay? I'm here to support you, but contact me on Instagram at Excite Excellence. Just send me a message and just let me know your name on YouTube. Okay, so we talked about confidence. Number 2 I want to talk about is preparing. Now, when you go to those high stakes meetings, have you all ever been in this situation where you are trying to prepare, and you have this meeting the next day or the following day or in a week, in a month, and you're just preparing as much as you can on your topic that you're talking about? How many of you have ever done that? I've done that before also. Now, I do want to give you some insight. When I say prepare for high stakes meetings, it's a little bit different than what you may think that it is. When I mean prepare, I mean be a very well-rounded, well-educated individual on many aspects of the world. Now, many of you know that I have spent time with congressional leaders at the highest level of government here in the United States, and a lot of the information that I do on my free time is learning what's going on with politics, what's going on in the world, what's going on in the economy, and etc. So let me give you an example of how I prepared. But I did not prepare for a meeting on purpose, but I want to share with you why preparation is so critically important if you're trying to make sure you don't freeze up in those high stakes, high pressure situations and you do not lose your cool. I had a meeting about 2 weeks ago with a multimillionaire. And in this meeting, we were just talking, just chatting, and I would consider this a high stakes conversation. This is a multimillionaire that I'm communicating with. And in the conversation, I didn't prep for the conversation. I didn't prepare for the conversation. I just came just ready to have a really good discussion. Now, when we were talking about the economy and life and etc., I was able to mention this specific statistic that automatically boosted my confidence and boosted my credibility with this multimillionaire. What I said to this multimillionaire was the following. During January of 2026 in the United States, we have lost 108,000 jobs. There have been that many people laid off. This has been the largest amount of layoffs that have happened since 2009. Now, what I just mentioned, did it have anything to do with me just having a random chat with someone? No, it did not. But the reason I say prepare is that you don't necessarily want to only prepare for what you're talking about. You want to be that person that has a good sense of what's going on, at least in the media that is relevant and that is not spammy or completely biased. But you do want to have some statistics, some data, some insights that you can share in those high stakes conversations that will automatically make your credibility go from here to here. Because people that are able to communicate in a way where they're communicating in a concise way, they are communicating data, statistics, automatically position themselves as authorities in a specific field. The next time you have a high stakes communication or conversation, make sure you take some time to just learn. Be that person that is wanting to learn as much as you can, because you never know who you may be interacting with and having a conversation with that you may need to display your expertise and your depth of knowledge based on what you learned just passively. Now, if this is something that they don't talk about on YouTube, okay? They do not talk about, they may say, prepare for your meeting, prepare in advance, and do all those things. And I, as a public speaker and as a C-suite executive and as executive coach and all that, yes, I would tell you to do the same things. However, there is a certain amount of knowledge that Google can't tell you immediately, that AI can't tell you immediately. You have to be that person that wants to learn and know what's going on so that when that time comes, because who knows when that time comes. I didn't come to the meeting saying I'm going to look up this information to share with this multimillionaire. No, I did not. This is just something I had in the back of my mind that I was able to use as leverage whenever I needed to. So you definitely want to make sure you're preparing, but not in the way that you think. I hope that gives you some insight. Let me know if you have any questions about that. Pratik Kalatcar 1011 says, all right, I will connect you on Instagram. Yes, absolutely, Pratik. Definitely connect with me. I'll be happy to support you any way that I can. So we're going to go over these next couple things very, very quickly. I may go into more detail on this in the live this evening, but my third insight for you to keep it cool in these type of settings when you're having meetings and etc., in those very high stakes meetings, is to make sure that you are being concise. Being concise and not over explaining, not rambling, will automatically boost your credibility if you are at a place where you feel like you're about to freeze. Slow down and you realize that you do not have to say too much. Just say just enough to get your point across. Now, observing is critically important. You want to make sure that you are noticing what is happening in the room. Now, I talk about this at length on my YouTube channel. There are, I don't know how many videos now. I have at least 950 videos on my YouTube channel, combined with my long form, my shorts, and my lives. There's a lot of information there that will help you be able to learn how to navigate these situations where you need to observe people. So just take a look at that. But observing people will show you a lot of information. It'll tell you what people are wanting to say and what they're not wanting to say. This is how you read people. And if you like this, you definitely want to subscribe to this channel for sure. Now, the next thing I want to mention to you outside of observing, that's very important, and being more concise, is that you have to get help. What I'm sharing with you is what I have learned, I have mastered for the past 20 years. It has taken me 20 years and maybe a little more than 20 years, probably 30, to figure these things out and to share this with you. If you are a woman in leadership and you're at a point where you're in a more highly visible role, you know the stakes are high, the pressure is real, and you cannot afford to lose your authority, you cannot afford to miss up this opportunity, you can't afford to have a high stakes conversation and do poorly in it because it will cost you revenue in your organization or revenue in your business, or just be catastrophic, then you probably want to reach out to me. I would highly recommend for you to contact me for the 15-minute high stakes diagnostic that I mentioned at the beginning, where we'll have a conversation about where you are, what is this conversation you're planning for, so I can give you something to work with, some insights to help you. This is complimentary. This is complimentary and is only complimentary for the first 10 individuals, the first women in leadership or individuals on my channel, such as Pratik Kalatcar, that interact with me quite a bit, to help you on your journey. Once I reach 10, that's all that I'm going to do. But I do want to make sure that you know that you can start mastering high stakes conversations. It doesn't have to be something you're afraid of and you're terrified of having them. You can do very well at them. You just need to get the right support. And that is why I'm here to support you any way that I can. Let me know what questions you all have as it relates to this topic, and what was the biggest insight that you gained from this conversation. Let me know how I can support you. Feel free to subscribe to the channel if you like this information and you're ready to go to that next level in your career and be that person that stands out from everybody else. Then let me know in the comments below. Let me know what questions you have. I'm here to support you any way that I can. All right, we have Tony Invon 378. Hello, Tony. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. I hope you all are doing well. And Tony Invon 378 says, looking good this morning. Well, thank you, Tony. I appreciate that. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day. Let me know what topics you want to learn more about. I'm going to really go in on this very, very sensitive topic because I want you all to be those individuals that can master high stakes communication, those under pressure situations, so that you stand out from everybody else. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.